And I wanted to ask you before you move.
Yes.
Newcomer, Senator Marcoleta, no, who scored very strongly in the Senate race, but he's a newcomer, and I don't think historically a newcomer's ever been given the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee.
Senator Marcoleta is not a newcomer. In the Senate perhaps, but not in the House. For me, Karen, hindi naman kapansanan ang pagiging bago eh. Hindi rin lamang yung pagiging matanda na. Pantay-pantay lang kaming lahat sa Senado. Bago man o luma, matagal man o ngayon lang. We all have the same votes and I think it would be unfair, to say the least, na maliitin yung kakayanan ng bago at sabihing mas may kakayanan. Automatic yung mas matagal nang nanilbihan.
Already announced the major committees. You have Senator Kiko Pangilinganan for Agri, Bam Aquino for Education, and so on. No, Win Gatchalian for Finance. That's correct.
Yes.
No, and you have Marcoleta for the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. We're showing a list right now on your screen. So
Yes.
these have already been decided. Take us through, for example, Kiko Pangilinan and Bam Aquino, which could have been in the minority, and yet you gave them juicy, powerful committees.
These are not. I don't consider committees, Karen, either juicy or non-juicy, powerful or non-powerful. There's a reason why these committees exist, and it's a question of their respective advocacies and core competence. So sa kaso, sa sitwasyon ni Senator Pangilinan, he ran on that platform. Sa sitwasyon ni Senator Bam Aquino, he ran on that platform specifically too. Sa kaso nung iba, they were former executive department officials handling those offices. So we tried to make do with the available talent we have in the Senate. So it's not really a question of giving them this or that. And another thing, Karen.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you before you move.
Yes.
Newcomer, Senator Marcoleta, no, who scored very strongly in the Senate race, but he's a newcomer, and I don't think historically a newcomer's ever been given the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. No, I mean, it doesn't mean he'll do a bad job, not at all, but it's a surprise to many that a newcomer is the chairman of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, and some have said it was your way to essentially court and win over the Duterte bloc. What are your thoughts? How did that happen?
Again, Karen, that's par for the course because I think these accusations were raised during the campaign for Senate presidency. Senator Marcoleta is not a newcomer. In the Senate perhaps, but not in the House. Nakasama ko si Senator Marcoleta nung nasa Kamara pa lamang ako. So he's been in Congress for quite some time. He's a litigator, he's a practicing lawyer, and I think neophyte or not, he will do a good job as the Blue Ribbon Committee chairperson and raise the flag of the institution through his stewardship of this committee. For me, Karen, hindi naman kapansanan ang pagiging bago eh. Hindi rin lamang yung pagiging matanda na. Pantay-pantay lang kaming lahat sa Senado. Bago man o luma, matagal man o ngayon lang. We are all senators elected by the people and we have one vote each. Hindi mas maraming boto yung veterano ha. Hindi kalahating boto yung bago at bata. We all have the same votes and I think it would be unfair, to say the least, na maliitin yung kakayanan ng bago, ng bata at sabihing mas may kakayanan. Automatic yung mas nakatatanda o mas matagal nang nanilbihan.
Okay, now your colleagues, no, you have Senator Mig Zubiri, who was former Senate President. I mean, he was ousted. You have Senator Loren Legarda, Lacson Soto. These are senior senators. You've worked with them, through several Congresses, and they're now in the minority. Would you want to change the situation and have them over to join the majority? Is that possible?
No, Karen. In a democracy, you cannot dictate. In a democracy, you allow a free vote for them to decide freely. As you said yourself, the two former presidents, one of whom wanted to be the Senate President again, decided to be in the minority, and I respect that. I look forward to working with them. I look forward to engaging them with respect to the meaningful pieces of legislation we will be discussing and passing.
Are you in speaking terms? I mean, this is quite personal, but I'm curious.
Sure.
Are you in speaking terms with Migzuli and Senator Soto?
Of course. We just had coffee last night at my office after session with Senator Soto. I greeted everyone on the first day of session. But Karen, my personal life is separate from my work life. Ang huli ko yatang naging kaibigan sa Senado na kaibigan talaga sa trabaho din ay si Senator Grace. Bago nun si Senator Noynoy. Sa Kamara, kami nila Senator Joel noon. He was a work and a friend outside of the house as well. But I have very little really close friends sa trabaho. Para hiwala yon. Para yung pamilya yung trabaho.
Okay, as Senate President with 3 years to go with this administration, just very quickly, what do you envision your leadership to be? What do you want to achieve in the next 3 years?
Karen, the President was elected to serve for 6 years. As far as we can, we will support his agenda and program for as long as it is in line with the Constitution, the rule of law, and what the population, what our people needs. We will stand for what is right and always oppose whatever we think or view is wrong. And we will pass meaningful legislation, not necessarily in the President's agenda, but try to shape his agenda as well through legislation. But this will not only come from me, Karen. This will come from all 24 members, kasama sa caucus to na hindi pinapansin ng media. Ano yung priority ng Senado?
Anong priority? Yun ang
Kahapon
tanong.
lang namin na pag-usapan, Karen.
Okay.
So we're finalizing it. We're will come up with it, I hope, in the next couple of days, if not by next week, trying to get the agenda, the priority, and the idea agenda.
Okay, my last question, which I missed
Yes.
your first gap, is the fact that the president did not talk about online gaming, gambling in his speech. I want to know, as Senate President, because you would have a strong voice on this, what are your thoughts about online gambling? To ban, to regulate, ano ba?
First, on the part of the President, I think he did not talk about politics, policy, or the economy. Nakatutok lang yung speech niya sa public and social services. So siguro may ibang pagkakataon para tanungin siya tungkol dyan. 3 bills have been filed to ban online PIGO, Philippine Inland Gaming. 1 bill was filed to regulate it. I already spoke about this, Karen, when we were discussing
Many years
POGO.
ago. Oo.
When we were discussing POGO, a year ago actually, a year and a half ago. Bakit ba tayo gigil na gigil ipagbawal ang POGO habang ang nagsusugal dito yung mga dayuhan at kibit-balikat tayo, tahimik tayo sa PIGO kung saan Pilipino ang nagsusugal. In fact, Karen, I saw a social media post. May pinakitang congressman habang nagsusona na nag-online sabong. Nakunan yata galing sa likod yung kanyang cellphone. Akala ko ba wala ng online sabong? Akala ko ba wala ng e-sabong? Ano yun? Saan galing yun? So the concern, Karen, is not only with respect to banning it, which I completely agree with. The concern is how to prevent the illegal side of it. Because when you ban it, it does not necessarily mean that it will go away. Matagal nang bawal magnakaw at pumatay, pero marami pa rin nagnanakaw at pumapatay, lalo na sugal. Matagal nang bawal ang isabong, bakit may ganun pa hanggang ngayon within the halls of Congress itself? So itong PIGO, itong POGO, dapat yun din ang tingnan natin. Hindi lamang ipagbawal legally, but to make sure na pag pinagbawal nga natin ay ito ay hindi magagawa illegally na baka mas rampant pa kumpara sa legal na walang regulation o zero regulation. Dahil pag illegal yan, wala nang above 18 dyan, wala nang limit yan, wala nang buwis yan. Yes,
Pero
ma'am.
ang hirap, I agree with you there. Iba yung illegal, iba yung legal. But it's also building a nation of gamblers. Kasi piso-piso ang taya and it's attached to GCash. So I wanted to ask your thoughts on this.
Well, If we will make it illegal, Karen, at the very least, we should make it more difficult. Ang problema, there are ways to go around it. Tatayo sila ng account, magmumukhang bogus na grocery store, dun magbabayad, dun iko-course through ang payment. I mean, there are ways and ways of going about it. So, again, whether you declare it legal or illegal, the question is, how will you prevent it? There's a joke, Karen, for example, that some people say, when Pogo was banned, ang pumalakpak, pinakamalakas na palakpak, yung law enforcement agencies natin. Dahil sila yung pinakamatutuwa at maliligayahan doon. Dahil hawak na nila at hindi na ngayon hawak ng gobyerno yung pagkakaroon o kawalan yan. The same is true perhaps for PIGO when it happens or if it happens. So dapat tutukan natin what will be the fallout after we vote to ban it. How can we ensure that this will not go underground, that foreign-based internet companies cannot enter the Philippines and get bets. Ano yung plano ng gobyerno para doon? Dahil lahat yan, pag dineklara mong illegal, maga-underground lang. We might still be facing the same evil, but this time, all being performed underground and in the dark corners of our country outside of the light.
So it seems to me, listening to you, that you are leaning towards technically banning online gambling through phones. Kasi may online gambling, pwede ka pumunta sa isang lugar, magsugal ka, pumunta ka sa casino. But the issue we're talking about, diba, is yung nasa telepono.
Hindi lang ang telepono, Karen, pati sa mga computer shops, pati sa mga gaming shops. Hindi naman Ragnarok o kung ano yung nilalaro ngayon, yun na yung nilalaro din ngayon eh. It would be nice to look at the data, Karen, with respect to how this is impinging on our society and what the limits are with respect to age. Kung sino yung pwedeng sumali dito.
All right. Well, on that note, Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero, I want to thank you for joining me today on Head Start. Is there anything you want to add before we go?
Wala siguro, Karen. Patuloy na magtatrabaho ang inyong Senado. Patuloy kami mag-oorganisa sa mga susunod na araw. We will not allow the political noise nor the below-the-belt accusations to derail us. We will continue to be focused on our work. At the end of the day, we are confident. I am confident that the truth will always come out. And if you are social media savvy, then like me, you have been victimized also by these wrong and false accusations, which we are confident we will overcome simply because they are not true. Good morning, Karen, and good morning to our televiewers.
Good morning, and thank you so much, Senate President Francis Cheese